Dive, the GoBot is ready for some undersea action in today's game, Airlock for your Atari 2600, which, judging by the label art, is basically a Tron track and field game. Cool, let's go ahead and pop Airlock into my Atari 7800 Pro system and see how it holds up today. Let's go to the game. Airlock was published by Data Age and carries a copyright year of 1982. It is a platform-style game for 1 or 2 players alternating. According to the back of the box, you are the captain of a disabled nuclear submarine that's taking on water while rocking on a ledge near a large hole on the ocean floor while torpedoes are rolling around inside. And you thought your day was bad. Now it's up to you to escape the sub before it floods. Great! When the game starts, use the joystick to move left and right and press the button to jump. The screen is comprised of 5 floors. On the bottom floor, you must collect 2 keys represented by hanging rectangles on each end by touching them, which will open the door to the left. Go through the door and touch the wall at the end to activate the elevator. Then you repeat the process on each remaining floor, alternating directions until you get to the top. However, it's not as easy as it sounds. Each floor has barriers and runaway torpedoes, which look more like Oompa Loompas than torpedoes, by the way, to jump over. And there's a timer counting down on top of the screen, showing you how much time you have left until the sub floods. And every 10 seconds, a floor gets flooded. If you get touched by an Oompa Loompa, I mean a runaway torpedo, you get temporarily knocked down. If the timer runs out or if the floor you're on gets flooded, you drown, ending your game. The game has 2 basic variations, a 5-floor variation where you have 49 seconds to complete the game, and a 10-floor variation where you have 99 seconds to complete the game. Either variation can be played with 1 or 2 players alternating. You can also use the difficulty switch to control how fast the timer moves, with the B position moving much quicker than the A position, which means that the B position game is the much harder of the two, where usually the B position is used for beginner or easier game settings in most 2600 games. In the 10-floor game, when you reach the second screen, you will start on the right side even though you took an elevator on the left side. And there now will be 4 barriers per floor instead of 2 per floor, like on the first 5 floors. If you manage to make it out of the sub in either variation, your guy will be seen jumping on top of the sub. And that's it. You beat the game. No advanced levels or new floors, just you jumping on top of the sub. That was supposed to be on the ocean floor, yet the top is clearly above the surface of the water. And now what? There's no one to rescue you. I assume the sub is still flooding, so it looks like you may end up drowning or becoming shark bait anyway. What a great game. That lasted all of 99 seconds or less. Graphically speaking, the game seems very basic and looks more like a game from 1977 than 1982. Just to give you an idea of what was possible in 82, Activision's Pitfall and River Raid both came out in that year and looked wonderful. And never mind the fact that the torpedoes look like your character without legs dipped in red paint. The limited sounds and music weren't much either, but I did enjoy the sound of your man running. Family-friendly wise, the game is pretty tame, except you're probably going to drown, which isn't very pleasant. At the time of my research on eBay, loose copies were going for $5 and one complete copy sold for $16, including shipping. So what did I think of Airlock? The core of the game is not that bad, but the controls do take a little getting used to. It reminded me a little of Adventures of Tron, which I reviewed in episode 266, but not nearly as polished. As a matter of fact, that is the big problem with the game. Not just the lack of polish, but the lack of game. When I first started the game, I kept dying in the first 10 seconds over and over because I didn't realize the difficulty switch was in the hard position with a timer that is very, and I mean very, unforgiving. I thought my game was broke, but then I realized my error and soon made it through the 5-floor variation. But my game didn't go on. And I thought my game was broke again, since surely there was more to this game than that, and don't ever call me Shirley. Eventually, I realized what was going on, and was able to beat both variations on the hardest difficulty in under 30 minutes. That's right, I mastered the whole game in under 30 minutes. I don't think that has ever happened to me before for a 2600 game. There just isn't enough there. It feels more like a demo, or a bare bones prototype than a full game. I can't imagine what it would have been like to pay full price for this game in 82, being duped by the cool box art, only to master the game the same night you got it. Even by 2600 standards, this is very lacking. And there isn't even a score to improve upon, and the game doesn't bother to show you how much time you have left on your timer when you defeat the game, so there's not much of an incentive to improve your time either. So basically, there's no incentive to play the game again once you beat it. So where am I going to rank Airlock? Low. Way low. Lower yet, I'm talking in the bottom 10. Games like Star Fox, Firefly, and even Donkey Kong Jr. had a lot of issues, but at least they had several screens and more action. And I'd even take Tax Avoiders over Airlock since you can play it for more than 99 seconds. But I will give Airlock an edge over Shark Attack since this was more fun than getting stuck in the invisible kelp in that game. So out of the 102 games I've ranked on the 2600, Airlock is pulling a Dalmatian and sinking into the 101 position. Calling Airlock a full game is giving it too much credit. So what do you think of Airlock? Whether you agree or disagree with me, feel free to let me know in the comments below. Also, feel free to click the like and subscribe buttons. If you'd like to support the show, you can do so at Patreon. Just go to patreon.com/NoSwearGamer for more information. You can also follow me on both the Facebook or the Twitter. I'm also a member of the Retro Junkies Network. You can find more retro podcasts and videos at theretrojunkies.com. Thank you for giving me a little part of your day, and I look forward to seeing you next time on the next episode of the No Swear Gamer. Take care and never take for granted games that last more than 99 seconds.